Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ron Galloway. I'm an elder for the Barapa Nation, who are traditional owners and custodians of the Gunbower Forest. And I'd like to pay my respects to elders past and present and to bid you all a welcome to country. As traditional owners, we have a unique cultural connection to our waterways and wetlands. Their health influences ours. We've been custodians of the land and water for thousands of years. It's our responsibility to look after country, heal the damage of the past and protect it for the future, for the generations to come. We want you to understand the value of water from a cultural perspective, and it's time we work together. Thank you.
Kway is welcome to my camp. Kway meaning friend, so hi everyone, welcome to my forest. This is my home. I feel my connection to this country very strongly here, through land and through water. Water is the key element to our cultural sites. Not only our cultural sites, it's the environment. The environment, what surrounds our cultural sites, what makes our cultural sites. So the food and medicine plants, river mint, flax lily, water pepper, old man weed. We need water to these places so we can start bringing back these plants, because these plants are becoming very rare out here. There used to be a lot years ago, but it's just our plants are dying. We're losing our plants out here. Basically, we just need water. And it's been really great to have the younger generation out here and teaching them our culture and heritage, showing them the waterways where our people live and the health of water and the health of cultural sites. Very important, because it's important for us to get it right for our generation, so our next generation doesn't have the struggle that we have today.
My connection to the land is basically through my grandmother. She was brought up over here, and really you get a pretty good connection to the land when you come over working on different lands. It's just you get this different feeling, like you can feel that someone's walked here before you and like your family, and it's just really good taking in all the knowledge from Colin and all the elders around.
If we don't get water, it's the forest will die. Our culture it'll die, because everyone's depending on water. Just looking around here, I mean, a lack of water. We're right next to a swamp or a lagoon, and there's no indication of water hasn't been here for a good while.
Probably want to speak from my voice as an Aboriginal woman and as an Aboriginal person that's worked in the natural resources area for over 15 years. Having a voice over the management of land and water and country is absolutely critical, because our culture is not this historical, it's not only history. Our culture as Aboriginal people in this state is a continuing culture. In supporting the Water for Country program, what we end up doing is we end up creating a voice for the Barapa people through defining some of those objectives. By no means do I feel like Aboriginal people in Victoria need to define their objectives. They know what their culture is, but in doing so, through projects like the Barapa Water for Country project, what we do is we give tools to government to create really true levers to embed within water policy in the state of Victoria, and more broadly through some of the cross-jurisdictional stuff going across the border. It's too easy to make decisions that you think are informed by what we call the stakeholders or the people involved in the space, but it's not until you actually get out and in the space and start having those relationships and start seeing people and seeing the emotion that's attached to it that the messages really are driven home. So I think that's probably the most important thing, is that the passion that we see and that we saw in the room today. It's real, and it gives this value, Aboriginal values in water, narrative and a story, and it's a story that you can't deny. And most of us who work in the Aboriginal affairs space know there's inherent rights, but it's another thing to actually listen to the voice of the people behind those stories.
We help out with the younger ones, try and bring them in, and we can also help as I said, the people from the departments, they don't know the practicality outside of their work rather than we do, and we can teach them as well and learn in the same aspect as the progress goes on and on. The connection I feel is really, I feel home. My dad used to work on the railways and run the trolleys from Kerrang to Kundruk here every day for many years, and yeah, I just feel so connected and home here.
My name's Neville Wyman. I'm an elder of the Barapa Nation. I live in Mildura now, but I've always returned back home and walked along the waters, rivers, bush, and see where any changes have taken place, whether the old landmarks are gone, campfire areas are gone, and things like that. Just checking out the country, see if they're still about. Keeping continuity is what it's about back through your country, so you never leave it and it never leaves you. And that's just how you connect to your country, by that continuity. Knowledge of culture and heritage and birthing, and our birthing's placed along the waterways and rivers and that. So birthing took place close to water, so it's for initiation process. After you're born, they cleanse you with the water, and then they wrap you in your possum skin cloaks or something like that, whatever they had at the time, and then they grow you up. Blackfellas were all left out in limbo as to where their next hour they was going to get their next meal, where they was going to get it from, because the restrictions put us on through this property owners through the trespass era. So if you were a trespasser, they was allowed to shoot to kill, I don't know, but shoot to frighten the hell out of you. And we were faced with that a few times, us young boys growing up. We couldn't go to the food bowls, our fishing areas, and certain times of day you catch turtles in the yellow waters, where it was more shallow waters where they came to soak in the warm waters to keep warm. Then we'd have other areas in the afternoon where the shadow was across the water, and we'd catch the bigger fish. And then by the time we were ready to go home in the afternoon, we'd go around and check our traps for rabbits, and then we'd take traps on from there, and we'd get close to home, we'd set them for possums. So we had plenty of resources to live off the land, as well as the fish from out the waters. And the culture and heritage just sort of bred into me, never left me. It's there until I die.
It's his lounge room here, not
Yeah,
ours.
he's not happy about us being here.
They're never happy.
No.
They're the worst tempered snake I know.
That's dinner.
Go on then, Ducky.
Give me that stick.
Take his hat off.